When I first started to learn web development, I paid $400 for a CD of Adobe DREAMWEAVER. Unlike the text editors we use today, what you see is what you get. WYSIWYGs have been around forever. Visual Basic for Windows came out 30 years ago. Game developers write code by dragging and dropping in tools like Unreal, and mobile IDEs like Android Studio always keep the UI by your side. But on the web, we choose to write most of our code with a blindfold on. I think this is due to the challenge of responsive design during the browser wars, but those days are mostly behind us. In today's video, we'll build an image carousel inspired by Airbnb's website using a new visual IDE called Codux created by Wix, the sponsor of this video, that brings drag and drop productivity to React apps. As a stubborn web developer myself, I was a bit skeptical to try it, but what I found is that it can dramatically simplify certain jobs, and does so in a non-invasive way. One thing I've always hated about visual tools is they tend to create code that you don't understand, but that's not the case with Codux. It works in tandem with VS Code while providing a robust visual layer on top of your code. It'll be easier if I just show you, so let's take a look at what we're building today. We have a collection of cards for various Airbnbs, which are made responsive with CSS Grid. Each card has its own collection of images, which can be rotated through by clicking this button. Nothing too crazy, but the way we'll build this is like nothing you've ever seen before when it comes to React development. The first step is to download it from the website, and it's entirely free, by the way. Then create a new project. You have the option to import an existing project. The only requirement is that it uses TypeScript and either CSS module, Sass, or Styleable for your styling. The main thing I don't like about this editor is that it only supports React. I would love a tool like this for Svelte, Vue, Angular, and so on. In any case, I'm going to start from scratch and go with the built-in Vite template. After it creates and installs the dependencies, you'll notice it creates a board. A board is just a component itself that allows you to isolate your own components, very similar to a tool like Storybook. If we go ahead and click on a board, that'll bring us into the main editor. Down here at the bottom, it contains the code for that board. Again, it's just a component that in this case renders the app component. There's a lot to talk about here, but first I want to back up. Back on the Home tab, you'll notice a few other icons here in the bottom left corner, like the File Explorer to look at the actual files in this project, which can be edited just like you would in VS Code with syntax highlighting and code completion. And then you also have a full Git integration as well, where you can easily make and revert commits as needed. What's important to understand though is that this is not trying to be a replacement for VS Code, but rather it complements it. If we go back into the board, you'll notice this little menu here next to the component that allows us to open it directly in VS Code. Looking closer at the file structure, you'll notice a folder named Codux. This contains any boards or templates that aren't part of your main application. There's also a Codux config file that can modify its behavior. But the cool thing is that anything you edit in the project in VS Code will be instantly reflected in Codux. As you can see here, I've got the app component open, but I want to get rid of all this boilerplate. As I go through and delete elements and save the file, it's instantly updated in the Codux UI. But here's where things start to get fun. If we go into Codux and click on a component, it brings up the editor, which gives us a hierarchy of elements in the DOM. If we click on one, its bounding box is highlighted in the UI, which is useful, but we can also add new elements to the DOM by clicking the Add button, and that brings us an entire list of all the possibilities. Personally, I find this extremely useful for building complex forms, because we can just drag and drop all the form elements we need and rearrange them, which is far more efficient than trying to do that in code, no matter how good you are in Vim. Then on the other side of the screen, properties on any element can be modified. We can easily filter and update them here, and it will modify the code automatically. That's pretty cool, but now it's time to build our first React component. Back in the home screen, I'll go ahead and click Add, followed by New Component. We'll give it a name of B&B Card, which will represent our image carousel. It's also worth noting that you can create custom templates if you find yourself implementing the same patterns in multiple components. Once created, you'll notice back in the Home tab that it also creates a new board for us, which allows us to develop this component in isolation. Now go to the component and click the pencil icon to bring up its code. Notice how we have a TypeScript interface here called B&B Card Props. When we add props to this interface, we can automatically start using them in Codux from the Properties panel, and that's why it's required to use TypeScript when using Codux. For each one of these cards, we'll need a title, a price, and an array of image URLs. Now go back to the board and click on that component, and we can modify its props right here to give it some dummy data. To build this card, we'll first structure out its elements, delete the default text, then drop in a div below the root. That'll be our main card. Then inside that div, we have two other divs, the first one for the carousel, and the second one for the main content below the images. Now in the top div, we can add a dummy image for now, and then in the bottom div, we can drag in a heading as well as a paragraph, and then we can rearrange these elements as needed by simply dragging and dropping. And just like that, we have a basic card, but it's lacking in style. Luckily, Codux has an awesome style editor, which might be my favorite feature of all. Go ahead and click on the outer div, then on the right side, you'll see a couple of other icons. Computed styles will give you a breakdown of all the styles that currently apply to that element. This is huge because I always find myself going back and forth in the browser DevTools to look at computed styles. It's extremely convenient to have this information directly in your IDE. Now click on the paintbrush to go to the style editor. Click plus to add a new class to this div and give it a name of card. That will add the card class to our chosen CSS module and also apply it to the div in the code. Then the CSS editor is amazing. We can filter any CSS property if we know what its name is, or we can go down here and do everything visually. Like, I'll go ahead and make it a flexbox, make it flow vertically, set the overflow to hidden, and set a max width of 300 pixels. That's convenient, but it also has some pretty advanced tools built into the editor. Like when it comes to shadows, the shadow editor allows you to change all the various properties, which is extremely difficult and tedious to do in code. But now it's time to make this component interactive. Back in the elements panel, I'm going to add another div inside the carousel along with a couple of buttons inside of it. When pressed, these buttons should rotate between the images in the carousel. We could write all this code in Codux, but at this point you may prefer to switch over to VS Code. We'll first destructure the props from our interface and then use that to interpolate dynamic data, like the title and the price. From there, we can add some state for the current index of the image that we want to show in the carousel, after which we can define a couple of functions like previous image and next image to change the index in a specific direction. Now let's go ahead and stop there and go back to Codux. If we look at the component, you can now see it's using our dynamic data that we created earlier. And if you look in the Elements tab, you'll see a gray icon here that tells us it's an expression or a value computed in the React.js Xcode. But one thing we forgot to do in our code is bind our carousel functions to the buttons. Select a button from the Elements tab, then go to the Properties panel and find the onClick property. Check that box and it will add an onClick event handler to that button. Then all we have to do is go down to the code and add the appropriate function name. Then the final step is to update the default image with the current index of the images array. At this point, click on the eyeball to preview the app here in Codux, and it should toggle between images in the carousel. But now that we have a working component, we can put it to use in other places in the application. For example, if we go back to the app board, we can now drag and drop our custom component there. It shows an error initially because it's missing the required props. In my full demo, I took some dummy data and looped over it to show multiple carousels and then styled them with CSS Grid here in Codux. The cool thing about this is I can change the size of the canvas to check its responsiveness without ever having to leave the IDE. Overall, Codux is a very new tool and won't replace your main editor, but it has some features that I think really any developer could take advantage of, whether you're a beginner or highly experienced. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know if this is a tool you would actually use in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.